Song speaks truth. Thanks. Share with the live stream tonight. Proud of you. Published on September 11th, 2016. Very interesting. Okay, let's zip back over to Facebook. Get back on my page. All right, here we are. So, I wanted to discuss, and I know it's silly, but you know, when I was a kid, of course, I had nothing but nightmares and premonition type dreams that I fully understand now. But of course, one of the main fears was vampires, you know. So when Eros, the little vampire guy, came into that show, we really weren't on the same level because, of course, he already thought I was mentally insane for believing that I could have a true spiritual walk with a divine creator, God, right? I mean, it's amazing. It's kind of like people saying they want to have an experience, and when they get up right on it, you know, they punk out and turn the other way and act like it's all bullshit, right? So, anyhow, he had mentioned that he was Rh negative. Now, for those of you that know, I've been living for my blood type, I guess, about 12 years now, and as an A blood type, I can't digest meat, so I became a vegetarian. It's about eliminating poisons. And so, of course, when you work with any kind of a lifestyle regime, it's about eliminating down to 2 out of 10 poisons. And this way, even though you're getting older, you can actually be healthier. I mean, it works pretty well. So anyhow, a lot of people make war over blood type. I mean, medically, they say it makes no difference. But the truth is especially when you're doing organ harvesting and having this trafficking trade that's so important, see, they need to type all of those people. So the more the common people don't know about blood type, see, the dopier they are to the whole subject at hand. And I'll tell you something else that's really weird. Think about this. Years ago, you'd always hear with, you know, organ transplants that you had to have that exact blood type match and it had to be compatible to suit the recipient. And you really had to be careful post-op as far as keeping your immune system strong and doing what the doctor ordered, right? These days, they have it to such a fine science, let's say. They've figured out that if they can lower the immune system, that it's easier to harvest the organs and it's also easier to transplant. So, for example, in Haiti, and of course, please go to George Webb's YouTube channel. He focuses on this every day and talks about Dynacorp. But anyhow, it's like a meat market, man. So these days, you have a place like Haiti and there's some big natural disaster, and all the benevolent people like Bill Gates come in with the needles and start jabbing everybody. This is specifically to lower the immune system, no different than spraying chemtrails above head or eating artificial food that is plastic or either has ground up parts of some unknown source in it. This is what's really going on, guys. And I know that doesn't sit well in some people's worlds. But here again, I might not talk about the most popular things, but somebody's got to, and there's a whole lot of other people besides me that do. And if we even reach one person, then we've done our job. So if we're looking at it just normal business, regular Western medicine, it's really all about what you can digest and what you can't digest. And of course, besides looking at what we eat and drink, it's what we put on our body. That would be personal care products. Say, for example, everybody wonders why there's record numbers of Alzheimer's. And now they're connecting it to a million things, don't get me wrong, but the first thing they connected it to was secret deodorant. And look how many people still use secret deodorant. So tonight when you go upstairs to your bathroom, check out your, smelly goods and look for a particular ingredient. That would be alum, A-L-U-M, aluminum chlorohydrate. That's the long version. Check it out. See if you've got heavy metal poisoning in your deodorant that makes you smell like $1 million. And, after you figure it out, go to the health food store and just buy a crystal rock. They're really very effective and very inexpensive. That would be my professional recommendation. On the weird side of blood type, if you want to really get into the, disclosure and misinformation and disinformation and, all the exciting stuff, you see the different blood types would represent different off-planet groups that messed with humanity's DNA. And there is truth to this, but that's not what we're here for tonight. We're here for cartoon night, and I'm keeping it lighthearted and funny as possible. Everybody says, Suze, you're way too serious. And it's like, you know what? This is what I choose to spend my time with, taking my life seriously. And like I said, I think I'm still pretty funny too. So let's see what you think about my next little offering. Now, this is a classic, if you ask me. And this is called Zen and Mel Meet Chuck the Mahu. And I don't know how many of you know about Wingmakers or about James Mahu. But what we're really talking about is being the Mahu. And on Valentine's Day, of course, when I kicked off my Welcome Back Elvis show, to really take that across the board and show how any person that steps forward and arises, in this consciousness, they really are walking the path of Christ, and they really are being the Mahu. You can kick ass and take names without hurting anybody. Another word we get in the Bible is slay. And some people think of slay as murdering someone, but you can also slay someone in love. And that's what I do. That's Mel right there. Oh, and yeah, she was a hairdresser too, who did the rich people. Corporate world. Miss Anti-Establishment. She was all of their asses. See, that's not living a true life.
Yeah, realist in that respect.
This is Zen Gardner.
I
aka Don Ferguson, the guy that got accused of,
Not hoping for the best.
well, let's put it this way. He was head of PR of the Children of God cult, and he was in there from the age of 22 to 49.
So-called change.
So you tell me what he knew and what he didn't know.
That's where it's at. And if this whole playing field,
I'm not here to accuse anybody. I'm just here to ask you to think some stuff through.
The whole theater burns down. Well, we know it better. We're going to be fine.
Always check out a person's
it's just
eyes.
Temporary illusions. Okay.
Mannerisms.
It's time for a new one. And who knows?
You don't get paranoid with it. You just let your heart tell you.
Going to lead up. But we can't worry about that part.
And of course, we know beauty comes from the inside,
so,
not the outside.
And perhaps we will have to kind of assume if it's the evolution of things, it's the best thing to happen. It'll be a reset. It may be horrifically devastating. The population could go through a humongous reduction. We don't know. I was in the revolution in Iran, like I was telling you, and it's not a pleasant experience. It's a different society. The fabric of society and your perception of it just goes. And doctors driving to help somebody in the night on a doctor's call. The young guard all freaked out. Everything's martial law, and he's got this gun. And the doctor says, the guy says, "What are you doing?" And he doesn't say anything. He reaches into his jacket to get his doctor's card. He didn't know if there was a gun, so he killed him. The awakening is happening before our very eyes. And I've had for years, I've been writing about it, and people say, "Oh, he's Pollyanna, everything's cool." I don't write like that at all. It's not what I'm saying. But the fact is, truth is good news. Truth is so-called positive. But it's really lies versus truth. It's not positive, negative. Because even the negative is for our growth. For some reason, the universe has allowed these other things. But that also implies directly that we have the power to be it confront, dispel, or not attached to, and thus it just loses its power, these so-called negative forces. Because so much of it is powered by our reaction to it. This is a co-creation we're in. So that's why some of these teachings, like the Wetiko teachings and the Archon agenda, and the Gnostic teachings, are so resonant to me that they make such sense. In the Wetiko teachings, there's say that once this thing has infected somebody, and we've all been infected to some degree because we're living in this environment, just like breathing the chemtrails. But we have blind spots, and by definition, you don't know it's a blind spot. So these are the things that we're going to need to be made more aware of as things proceed, because anything, it's like a hurricane, anything that's not nailed down, it's not the wind that kills you, it's the debris.
Water Texas Ranger. Gonna get you.
Sing it.
Don't make me get the guitar out. They didn't get any spiritual roots. But they're going to be dangerous to be around. And even if they're loved ones, well, I'll tell you what, we need to survive. The truth needs to survive. I mean, I tried to help them, but it gets to a point I can't help you anymore. Here you go, like the crumbs for the birds. There you go. They'll remember, sometimes too little, too late. I don't know. But if that's what it takes for people to wake up to go through this storm that's coming, which apparently it is a last chance for a lot of people, then bring it on. Bring it on. It sounds merciless, but we have to transcend these other more base feelings and understandings of what's going on here. We've got to see it from a transcendent, clear-hearted perspective. So that's what I do with my writings, and the book is written with the design to help people identify what they're going through more easily. It's definitely both, because a light worker is someone who works with light in order to protect and also move forward, light the path. There's so many things.
That's right. Have some of that. So you're saying he got and still kicked ass, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's up.
That's great.
And I think we need to learn how to activate these weapons, activate our essence, and have more intuitive trust that we are already equipped. We don't have to live in a mountain retreat for 10 years to become some attained guru or saint. We're simple people. We love our children. If you need to heal someone or you want some spiritual healing, well, put your hands on them and intend healing, or if you know someone who has a gift for sure, but do it with them. We all have it, Yeah, the hands. Wow, we're loaded. But what activates it is our conscious awareness of it, and so you could call it faith, because faith is knowing, belief is kind of hoping. But faith is, if someone has faith, I don't diss it. Like even if someone is in the religious paradigm, but they have an experience, they want to call it Jesus, or I don't diss a faith. That's nothing wrong with that. But if you're trapped in dogma and that kind of stuff, then I have an issue.
Interesting. It's better to have tried it than to have never tried it all.
Me and my newly shiny label institutional ideology that I want to sell and take lots of good money for. Oh, good look at me, I'm just amazing. Listen, I'm going to stand up on a whole different speaking events and con you into believing I'm just so freaking awesome when I'm this asshole.
Oh, really? For a snack?
And I'd like to say a special thank you
No,
to
good.
a woman who was there when I needed her.
We could put black stripes on your guitar like any band, anything, anywhere.
This is red and white. And you're going stripes across there, and you go green stripes across white stripes all over it.
Is that the paint splatter one too?
It's not really a paint splatter, it's different.
It's like they say, camera is my mistress. You had enough of C.W. Chanter's bullshitters, frauds, fakes, cons, idiots, morons, fuckwits, and all of the above who continue to plague this beautiful state of awakening that we as humanity are currently going through. You guys, there's a special place in hell for you guys. And you don't do this world any favor with the stuff that you're doing. And I'm very sorry to say, but I'm quite happy to speak openly about these people, who they are, and the stuff that they're doing. Because
Hey, Mel, here I
there are
am
more
speaking
fake projects out
openly
there than there are
about
real
people like you.
of the
See
same
it right there?
old bullshit. Seriously, guys, come up with a new act. What was going on now? This pseudo-pretentious, new age spiritual bullshit. It's so fucking old, and we're so tired of it.
I want to tell my mama.
You know, Mama said I ought to be on TV, except for a mugshot on the news.
Well, you know who you are, and you're making a fool of yourself. And we can see what you're doing. I don't know if you know that you're doing this, but you're fucking up everything that you've done and all the beautiful work that you've done in the past by behaving so foolishly and doing such stupid
She's
stuff. So
talking to
think
my
hard
buddy
about
Randy
what it is
Watkins.
you're doing, and
I'll explain all about it.
just stop doing it. Respect everybody's free will and right to make their stupid choices, but you're screwing it up for everybody else and shitting all over the good work that you've done. So perhaps you should, stop doing it. And actually, being insulting to those of us intelligent enough to see what these people are doing. And it's like, yoo-hoo, I want to be a guru. Like, yoo-hoo, I want to be a guru. This whole, listen to me. I can activate your DNA, blah, 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 whatever. These
Blah, 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 blah. January
ideologies,
23rd,
ideas,
2017.
institutions, global truth universities where you can get a certificate of discernment. Next year you're needing a license to be a researcher. Let me, pretend that I'm a reincarnation of someone special from another life.
Helen
Me come back to
Blavatsky.
the future to save
That
humanity.
Oh,
I am the reincarnation of Enki, and I'm here to save humanity. Famous people in the
wait,
truth
that's
movement
what
who
Elise's
actually
show was about. He
believe
thought it was
in
great.
these things. They create
Remember
these
Journalism
sort of
Academy?
new age external locus of identity type scenarios for themselves that people buy into this messianic label that they create for themselves. They throw so much
Yep,
donations
that was
at
the
it.
night I was,
In the end, it's just an ego. And
taping
it's
the
just a
whole
bunch of
thing
false
to
new age
show what
bullshit.
was really going on.
First off, the second
Something I
finds out
paid
very
for that I got
vulnerable
ripped
people
off
who,
for.
many of them
You
have
still haven't
experienced
made
great
good.
hardship themselves and are searching for solutions. Secondly, they mislead people into believing in false ideologies and paradigms which have no chance of, first off, ever being realistic, secondly, ever be coming to fruition because
Her
people
voice
at the head
drives
of
me
them
nuts
are
now.
just such.
I know my voice is
and they have
kind
no
of
chance
annoying
of making
too,
it
but
work, no matter what they do, because they just self-sabotage everything because everything's about them. And this becomes very obvious when you start to look at a number of key people in the truth movement who have been very destructive with the projects that they've worked with and caused a lot of damage. And it's really hard to keep motivated when you're constantly working with this level of idiocy, negligence, sociopathy on one level, narcissism on another, a complete selfishness and greed.
I always hope that I am wrong when I become the voice of doom. But
you're such a scam and shit.
we sit here and we look at this information and we pick out the patterns. So we're probably in the best position to possibly
I met so many
give its
hairdressers like you
opinion
in the
at this
past,
stage is
girl.
all it is. Remember the golden rule, whenever, it's one of the things we teach in the Journalism Academy, whenever you're doing your research, is always the golden rule, follow the money line.
Oh, we have.
Obviously,
We know about your money line.
so much is
Blondie.
conditional. But it's my personal conviction that there's so much in motion, and the psychopathic forces have amassed so much weaponry, insane intentions. And they don't think like we do. We're dealing with psychopaths and worse. So
Right,
there's something in
puppeted
Israel
and
called
possessed
the
folks.
Samson option.
Yes.
So they're told that if they're in a situation where it looks like they're going to lose, it's better that they blow everything up, including themselves. This is
Right. No compassion.
More intuitive and willing to
Self-destruct
open
for
up our
everybody.
senses in all kinds of ways to discover what's really going on here, and then it becomes really fun. But at the same time, we're in a very dark age with dark energies of all sorts, whether you want to call them demons, jinn, archons, Watiko, all these different things, and they're all important to learn about. It is known in the human collective psyche that we have a parasitic or a virus that is attacking humanity and living off of humanity's energy. Where are we in this? So what do we do? So for me, I like to digest it, take it apart with the intention of helping others through this process. So she's still angry and upset and horrified. And she's saying, "How long is this going to last?" I said, "It won't be much longer. There are trends. You've got to get past it, and you will. But the way to do it is see through this ugliness that's being projected on us like a giant black spider web. See through it because it's
Everybody's
a
been
veil
affected.
to keep us from with a purpose, to keep us from connecting with source. It's not just out there. The veil is also in our heart. That's the real us, the real essence, our authentic self, and that's going to bring about changes in our personal life.
What's that say? Right, read The Impersonal Life by Sophia's Emporium. All right, so let's break this down a little bit. Okay, what you just saw there was a conversation with Zen Gardner, also known as Don Ferguson, and Mel V, aka Melanie Vermey Spencer. That's her real name, right? All right, so when I started broadcasting it was mid-January 2016. And I didn't hear about this Zen stuff until a few months into Academy. And of course, that's another part of the story, but we'll try to keep it in order. Now, what's really weird is here in America, you know, everybody's talking about Pizzagate. Now you have to feel guilty about eating a pizza because it has to do with things that you just can't even imagine. I mean, it's completely disgusting. But anyhow, over in the UK, you've got this thing called, you know, the Hampstead case, and it's these two children that were abused and molested, and it's really creepy, satanic rituals, so on and so forth. But nobody knows where the kids are, and all these people are fighting over it, and it's kind of like a witch hunt, people blaming people and stuff. I've had to learn a lot about it, considering that was the middle of the battlefield that I was in, and my dumbass didn't know it. But I just found out today that the Hampstead case did not break online until February of 2016. So we're going to put this in a timeline and realize that by the time that I was doing my second show, that this was beginning. Now, of course, Journalism Academy didn't start, I'm going to say it was March. And by the summer, when most of the broadcasters had already left and this weird hiatus was going on in the forefront, but behind the scenes with Journalism Academy, I mean, it was really just like the Mean Girls story, you know, and Mel would kind of bitch about whoever she wanted, and she would that way have like a dry run to prepare for her Wax Lyrical show that would be upcoming, you see. So I would hear this stuff twice. And I mean, I paid $250 for Journalism Academy. I was supposed to be learning how to become a better journalist. I was supposed to be learning how to use my computer. I was supposed to be working on the website that I paid $3,000 for them to build, that I still don't have. So when you ask here again, Suze, why are you doing this? Simple answer. As a businesswoman of 30 years, I mean, I've seen that there's no way to do decent business. I mean, look around, everything's closing all around you, okay? They don't want people to be helping people at this point. They want to keep sucking resources away slowly. That way, it's like the frogs in the boiling water. They don't know they're going to be frog legs soon. But if I come online to do business as the Hair Emporium and to help people with life charting and lifestyle programs and all these different regimes and a wealth of knowledge that I bring to the world, well, here it's like if I don't go along with their cult program, see, I won't get any of it. And in the end, I knew it was coming down because I'm intuitive. I could see the road ahead. And that's why it's so interesting. If you go back and look at my shows, I was speaking in a very beautiful, flowery manner about what was going on behind the scenes. And that way, here again, logging in the journey. It's mind-blowing now that I go back and look at them as I rework them, because of course I had been threatened and I expected they would do anything they could to take them down, and actually they did get one taken down, and I've documented all that too. But you see this Zen Gardner dude, he was broadcasting on CCN. And then you got my buddy Randy Moggins, host of Off Planet Radio, and now with his buddy Emily Moyer, this dynamic duo. These guys are setting up an incredible future for broadcasting. Anyhow, Randy knew they had taken me for $3,000 on the website, and he knew what was going on because we were friends. And, I needed to tell someone. And of course, I'll always tell the person that I feel close to. So basically, Randy told him, don't screw her. And that's really what it all kind of escalated over. See, Randy had the information on Zen too, because Zen, aka Don Ferguson, had never exposed his background with the Children of God cult, nor did he expose the stories about, well, yeah, when an adult had a sexual interaction with a kid, he bumped him out of the little group. Well, you should have been telling on their dirty asses. But anyhow, no big deal. What Mel did was, instead of just dealing with the simple truth of Zen Gardner's sexual background, she chose to fragment and diversify and put words in everybody's mouths and made each one of us believe that we were all being called pedophiles or Satanists. And that was not the case. What, now it's going to be guilty by association for everybody? No wonder they say that the human race is a bunch of useless eaters and stupid cattle. Okay, if you believe that, then you're part of the problem, not the solution. Well, anyhow, I decided that I was getting the hell out of there. And I turned my movie camera on, which I had every right to do. See, they want to cry and say it's an illegal recording, but that's not so. Because on Zoom, the person hosting the event has the ability to allow the participants to record. And if you are a paid participant learning in Journalism Academy, why wouldn't you be able to turn a camera on and have your lesson on your computer so you could go back and review it and actually learn something instead of it being a farce? But see, here again, Mel thinks she's badass, but she's so transparent, and she's a spoiled brat from a very rich background, and boo-hoo, she's given up everything for her cause to be free and independent. And she takes that directly back to the problems she had growing up with her parents, so I get it. I wanted to be free of my parents too, Mel V. But you see, I didn't have to go around hurting a bunch of other people to do it. I simply moved out when I was 17 and a half. I worked 2 jobs, went to beauty school, and opened up my salon and worked my ass off 70 hours a week. And it's been a great life. So while you were selling out salons in London like you confess in your own shows, you sign people to contracts for way too much retail, they can't sell through. And then you take their salon, dirty, rotten, shame. And like I said, all these people that were downsized in the 90s, you remember that. All these people had to leave the corporations and lost most of their benefits and on and on. But like I said, they took their little marketing and advertising skills and found some kind of scam to sell through on the internet. That is not going to be the Sue's World reality. We're going to have a responsible internet, and one where bullies don't get to voice their opinions or their assumptions. Okay. Guess that's enough of that. So you guys get why I showed you a little bit about Zen Gardner. But, they say at the height of the Children of God cult. Now check this out. 1 out of every 8 people on the face of the earth were affected by this. So as you also wonder, how could these terrible things be happening to children? How could they be sexually sodomizing and molesting these children of the kingdom? Remember, this has been going on for a long, long time. It's like a parasite. It gets embedded and then people act through their traumas, you see. And, you know, it wasn't like anybody was calling Mr. Gardner a pedophile. And nobody called Mel a pedophile. What they actually said is you are protecting people who are known to be deviant and involved in some kind of a sex magic blood cult. How you like that? Okay. I'm ready to move forward and onward. Now, this is another great movie, if I must say so myself. And this is called Mayhem, Mel, and Me. And this was my Sophia's Emporium that I put up on March 1st. We're just taking the opportunity to live stream through Facebook because, you know, Facebook's interested in real, honest news. And I'd like to bring to Facebook's attention that very early on in this, and I'm sure you can go back and find it, you hold the keys to the kingdom. Someone who hadn't wrote a blog in forever, you know, dusted out their blog and wrote a very deep, profound piece about, you know, how the poor people at CCN and Mel and Biggie and Zen and everybody was, you know, being abused, and that there was false information going on around about them. Now here again, facts, figures, and statistics are what you're looking for. Also, talk to Heartman, talk to Courtney Brown, and then get back to me. All right, back to the movies. And this is fun too.
Understand what it says, but it's very, very.
Look us up online.
Well, now, hang on just a second, because I'd like this international crew to know that we know you
My
personally.
friend,
Oh,
Scott.
You're
absolutely.
not just somebody
That's
coming up
Joe.
selling us something.
That's right. Yeah.
So tell me how we know each other, Scott.
I believe this lady has like styled everyone's hair that I know. My wife, my daughter, and that whole kit and caboodle.
How long?
For like 700 years.
All right.
I believe that's how far they go back.
And then let me ask you this. Do you remember the old days when everybody made fun of me because I refused to get online? Well,
Let me just get into the core fundamental basics of what has happened. Basically, on the 1st of February, we lost internet to our studios of the CCN.
Yeah, wait till you hear
headquarters.
this.
And
She's
there
trying
was
to
a
cover
lot
her
of
ass
info
because she's
with the
involved
internet providers
in some naughty,
and
nefarious
various aspects of
computer
the technical side,
stuff via the
trying to
Computer
establish the problem,
Misuse
which
Act.
was established pretty early on. And
That's great.
we were able to
Go
confirm
ahead, Mel.
pretty much today that it was actually on Friday that we were given the inclination that it looked like we had our line coming into our studio sabotaged. And today the tech who actually fixed it and looked at the whole thing has confirmed that it takes a great amount of brute force to do
you got a little
what
bit of
was
rash
done
there
to
starting
the
on your
line.
chest, sister.
Absolutely deliberate. There's no accident. It's not like someone trod
You're
on the
on
line and it
fire,
broke.
aren't you?
There's force there. There's deliberate, malicious, malintent to disconnect our line for the fiber optic services that we broadcast our network on. So it's not just attacks in terms of, you had your website hacked, you had your YouTube hacked, or your Skype hacked, or whatever, or Facebook. This is actually now localized, right? This is the fight has come to our doorstep, not even figuratively. Literally.
I don't need that. I'm talking to a bright monkey sucked into the mind virus dutifully
This is me
by
filming
jealous,
Journalism
ill-meaning elements
Academy to
and
show what
agents
really
of
went on
fear and
behind the
suspicion to
scenes.
innovate themselves. And then when the people here in Holland making allegations, because trust me, here in Holland, here with me, we've got a whole different set of politics going on here in the alternative media. There's the people who recently offered him to make allegations about me. In fact, it was, I told you earlier, that cult that gave us that money. They were making allegations about me, about Vicky and I, and all sorts.
Did you just say a cult gave you a bunch of money and you run a humanitarian thing? Okay, let's go on.
And then went to your hunt, trying to smear campaign against us. The army came straight to us, asked us what the facts were, presented us to them, and they never came back to him. So guess what he does? He sticks them on his list of disinformation. He's got a list, and then he's published. He just doesn't take bullshit. He's a very straight down the line kind of guy. He's the kind of guy who'll go, he's a researcher, he goes to the source. So if someone comes with allegations, he'll go to the source to check it out. That's what he did with us. He didn't publish bullshit online. He came to us and we checked it out.
These days.
Well, that's because I'm turning over a new leaf.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Now, before we close out, do you have a message for the world that you'd like to send around the globe today?
Around the globe.
Yes.
Peace and love.
Make a difference.
Yeah.
You know, abide in the vine. You know, that's one of the greatest lessons of all.
Right. God is nature.
That's right.
I love a strong man that's in touch with his feminine side, guys.
Somebody just misspelled it.
I appreciate your time today very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Always good to see you,
Good to see you
Scott
too.
Shy. Take it easy.
Sorry, I didn't know if you were done there yet.
Oh, I'm like well done.
Now this is C on the left.
Did
And he's got a major hate relationship going with Randy and myself.
And for anyone who has
And him and Mel were buddying up, and then miraculously he was gone without a word.
Too. Yeah.
After we called him out on what he was doing with the Standing Rock blasphemy, where he was talking shit on everybody. He had a secret
Just to
plan
remind us again what it
with
is
some
now.
Alibaba guy on the East
To
Coast.
remind ourselves, to check ourselves. We're not allowing the miscreant energies in, and that we're not falling into the distortions, that we're staying true to our purpose. And so, and that is definitely something I noticed you at all points. So thank you very much, Steve. That was so enlightening and so educational, and I love it that you put it across in a way that doesn't come across as, too love and lighty, and you're not afraid of using a few fruity words. So it's home real in a realistic, keeping it real kind of way.
That's awesome.
And I'm in Broadcast Journalism Academy.
Oh,
So,
Joe, how's that going?
I hope it's more exciting for her than it is for me.
Because he knew how much stress that I was under, how much duress.
Good.
And
I'm
he
really
listened
excited.
in on what
People that think like this need to get together, need to
That's right.
talk,
He knows
need to share the
everything
thoughts
about
and ideas, and know what's going
I
on
share
out
my
there.
journey.
Because it's simple and it's the right thing to do.
I'll open up what I always open up every Tuesday night. We have a focus group. We have a Zoom session using the Zoom application.
No
It's a free
misusing
app.
the application.
Anybody who is inclined to come participate
When you're
in our
plotting
Emporium is welcome there.
Terrorist
I'm sure you're
actions
not.
and misusing the computer,
And
plotting against good
my
people.
Facebook is attached to
And no,
many of
you're
my
misusing
interviews.
Zoom, and I hope
you
Zoom
can
gets
get me
hold of
there.
this.
You know, it's
I'm not
Facebook.com/.
going to argue out like, go right to them. They're busy.
L-E-I-M-U-T-H, Shlemuth.
Yeah,
Like shalom, it means wholeness, like shanti
right.
in Sanskrit. That's
Mr.
Hebrew.
Holmes.
Shlemuth,
You got a hole in your head.
S-H-L-E-I-M-U-T-H. You can find me there. You can email me at zzenix777@Yahoo. I'm pretty available. And if you want to join this group, we'll send you the code, pop in. There's generally a really active exchange and conversation going on. It's From our
active
perspective,
exchange.
alchemically convincing everybody involved by
9-hour
by showing up and
meetings.
being present in an authentic manner.
Hey, wait, see. Let me tell them what you said the one night. Remember, you actually allow other people to run these 9-hour long meetings while you get a couple hours of rest. I mean, really, that's very benevolent of you as the leader. Go ahead.
The invitation is out there. All are welcome until you're not.
Until you're not.
You know, a little bit of a expertise and therefore a bit of an ego in some area. And then the difficult part as a leader is to balance and manage the egos. Right? And that's one thing I learned to do when I was working in fashion styling and I was working with all the celebrities.
You mean
stylist,
as a hairdresser, Mel?
Suck them all in. Be a shop
I know about hairdressers.
Directed at you. But anyway, I managed that, and that's how I was able to run the Swiss Indo African delegation for as long as I did. I was coordinating.
Oh, and you did run the Swiss Indo.
And that's
And you said that you did.
It just managing with egos meant I was constantly a shock absorber, which meant I was constantly getting drained and hammered for having to balance out all the aberrant energies.
That is a Palisite meteorite there.
Literally.
On that side.
So they're hacking the fiber optic line into the CCN headquarters. That's pretty severe. That actually constitutes a criminal act.
So does the
And we have
Computer
already been
Misuse
in
Act.
touch with authorities, and let's see how far we get. But
This is your
we
counter
are
move
taking
on the
this
chessboard
to
of
the
life.
next level because we've actually got proof, the testimony of the people who actually service.
She has the testimony of the people that service the lines, that someone cut the lines from outside on the apartment building. I know big words sound a lot fancier, and she went to university, so spellcasting 101.
Line who provide us with the fiber optic streaming, which we pay for. So they're in breach of contract and they're under legal premises to obviously investigate.
You're in breach of contract too, but oh yeah, we didn't have a contract because I was too stupid. You said that out loud too, remember? Never forget.
And well,
and your chest is getting redder by the minute, by the way.
It was very clear. This is deliberate. This most likely is sabotage. And we've got the report with us, and I would read it out, except that it's written in Dutch. So most people probably will not understand what it says, but
translate
very,
it, or
very
you
clear.
couldn't translate it.
We've had to write emails to all the other tenants in the building to obviously ensure that they were aware of what had happened, because obviously it's very concerning.
At $2 a week. Yeah.
Tell her, Jeff.
Yeah. Because a lot of people don't have real good things to talk about.
When you've got people sabotaging internet lines, and let's just say it's been very, very stressful for us. There's obviously a lot of questions flying around in our mind as to, the motives and the connections of the people who may have been involved and what they connect to on their free.
Do you mean in the same way that y'all are connected in some creepy way with the disinformation and confusion causing with the Hampstead kids case? Or, I mean, what exactly do you mean? All your little different scams you've been involved in? I mean, this does not give you good experience.
Masons, all this kind of thing.
Okay, now hang on. Oh, here I go. Because I know, Mel, you're brilliant and use all these big words. But what it sounds like to me, as somebody just listening in, it sounds like somebody messed with the cable on the outside of your apartment building. Is that what you're saying? And then would it be the way that they can prove that is, of course, because there was damage done to their equipment on the outside of the apartment building. Now, as far as your business goes inside, they're going to go after the person that did it because their equipment or whatever was tampered with. I wonder if they're looking at your business inside of your home
And then at the same time,
And it'd be interesting to see
this
if there's
report
fingerprints or if the perp
in
wore
Dutch, I
gloves.
mean, it'd be easy enough for you to translate it and read it to everybody. But me, just an observer that is dealing with you firsthand and know your tricks, I'm just trying to figure out
Right.
if your lines got cut. So that's my vote.
Everybody knows mainstream media is puppeting. Everybody knows alternative media can be full of shit, can kind of like fear-provoking.
Oh, absolutely. Fear mongers.
Right, and so
This was a concert at 501 for Molly Rockeman's birthday bash this summer. Yeah, somebody left my team viewer back door open,
And
Biggie.
yeah, it's just been
You were
very
the only
difficult
one that
being
had
fine, of
access
course.
to the
I'm
computer.
sorry I'm struggling. I'm sounding with monotone, but I'm in so much agony. I can't even
Oh,
speak.
here we go. Here we go.
Because I've not been able to do yoga. I take my yoga classes online.
Tag, that
I have
rash
no
is
internet
getting
for a week.
bad.
And with
Is
the
that like your
additional
nose
stress, I
growing?
would of course need the yoga classes at this time, and I've not had them. And so the breach in the line has actually caused me a severe amount.
Oh, so now you're going to claim pain and suffering on this. Now, back when we were in Journalism Academy, I know you went to hot yoga at the studio somewhere. And even if you don't have your internet to do yoga, you can still do your stretches and everything. So I'm just putting this together, what you're doing.
Injury called discomfort, and
Mental
I
and
just,
emotional,
Right, building a
physical
great
suffering.
pace
we
here,
were
isn't she?
getting to people so much
Pain
that
and
they're actually
suffering.
willing to go to the point of disconnecting our internet, and very deliberately so.
You went to the point of releasing a worm in my
that's
computer.
where we've been.
And you're
I know-
crying about a cord on
just
the
want to say
outside of an
first of all,
apartment.
thank you to
Classic.
Instead and Mackenzie's for keeping me entertained during the quiet.
And you won't even speak my name out loud. We'll see if we can't change that. Tempt you.
Buddy, come to me, my buddy.
This is the tale of Green Knight. Sean Connery. This is from my first episode of Sophia's Emporium. I was doing a variety show just like now. This was before I ever went to Journalism Academy, that I put the show together and, you know, figure out what movie clips I wanted and order. And I'd spend 4 or 5 hours a week preparing for my show, writing my outline.
Your eyes have seen nothing of the world. So I snuff up the light.
And of course, you know, Mel's making threats that people want to offer, which is not. It's twisted aside.
It's a long die yet. The fanfare lack of cunning.
Tar and feather, you know,
I came to challenge a man. A beardless boy.
public apology,
I
whatever.
give you a year's grace to grow your beard. Well,
Oh, maybe just learn from your lesson. That would even suffice. Turn your life around and do good.
You shall meet again. You shall pay your debt to me.
Still able to access the odd website at very slow speed off his mobile phone, of course.
Hey, but wait, you were in that show with your educational comedy paradigm guy.
Broadcasters of what was going on. Most of them, of course, have been
I already
aware
made a movie
that,
about
we're
that, remember?
we're working on things, but we haven't been too forthcoming as to what has been going on, because we must ourselves wanted to have all the facts before we disclose this information into the
About a
public
line
domain.
getting cut outside. Ooh, Betty Boop.
Oh, I am right over.
What about the Zoom room? You could have kept shows going on your Zoom room, I'm sure. You have that app on your cell phone, but I know you're just building drama and making your story bigger than the true one that I released, where you guys hacked my computer. So what you're trying to do is make your story bigger and better. When you've suffered so.
And we, of course, never want to be putting lies and allegations out there that we can't back up with proof. And it's evidence is so strong, as I said, we will actually be taking something to the authorities because this is deliberate malicious harm intended to, this is causing loss and causing harm.
The problem, I know there's two sides to every story, and what I am not doing now is just giving me a chance to come forward, because he was like, he had the impression that we had a bad impression of him because of Randy, which is true. And I really hate myself for doing this. I'm going to admit,
You mean that you're controlled by somebody else's opinion that you're making up?
I made a mistake. I should never. I dismissed it. I dismissed it because of Randy. It's actually a big deal came to me, so you're going to stay away from Zoo, you're going to stay away from Plymouth Flat because Randy doesn't like it. We can't bring him in the network. And of course we did that because we wanted to hold on
So
to
now
Randy.
you talk shit on Freeman
What I've realized
and
is
on
that
Roger.
Randy falls out with, it's not the people's problem, it's Randy.
And Duncan.
Because that's what Roger said. Roger said, you know, Randy
Oh, that's right, you talk shit on everybody. And everybody that you line up with, you fall out with. And you're mad at me because I chose to not participate in your insanity.
You're causing conflict because of your ego or your insecurities or whatever. It's a pattern. Like we see in everybody, there's nothing new under the sun. This is the same bullshit we see. We all have to work through our bullshit. Some of us can actually put the effort into
But
it.
no, you haven't worked through your bullshit, or you wouldn't do this to people.
In the misery and patheticness and the ego for the rest of their lives. And
you're 40. You're on your main crisis year punch too. Remember the summer, how upset you were?
I do. It is. I do. I'm a compassionate person. Despite every other thing, sometimes I actually feel sorry for what I see. I don't see Camila, so I see is a very hurt man who's explaining and directing that pain of others.
Hey, Mel, you're as compassionate as a cold-blooded lizard.
Yeah.
Compassionate.
I just see a very hurt man. That's what I see. And we never hurt him. It wasn't our intention to hurt him.
No, it was your intention to hurt me.
For someone who was wrongfully attacked is hurting him, who really needs self-worth. That's pure ego. You can still be accessed by the archons, okay?
It's
and
your
who
pure
is
ego.
genuinely able to make themselves
And it's really a mess.
pure in their
It's a hot
spirit,
mess.
stand in their true conviction,
Just like your roots.
in their full presence, with their full faculties, under command of their full spiritual, energetic being, not with some other demonic influences coming in. What I have shown, which is scary for me, is how many of these spiritual types.
Right, so you see what she's doing there. She knows I'm a spiritual type. And so what you just said, it's amazing how so many people, their spiritual are taken over by demons.
Let me tell you what is very clear about metaphysics. That guy is
And
really going to be
Nancy's
the guy
Mr.
to interview
Metaphysics.
when
You
you do
hear this?
interview and it's about the metaphysical stuff. When he comes on to speak to me on Wednesday, what he wants to do is he wants to talk about who he is, where he came from, and his involvement with Randy and what happened there, because it's quite a story, and it's also quite a vicious story.
Oh, it is
What I
quite a
wanna do is
story.
just
I'm going to
create,
tell you too.
a
Don't
bit of
worry.
I'm not out to bash Randy. All I want to do is give Z a chance to talk, because he desperately wants to get it all on record. Yes.
What's next? There's often this sense like it's just happening. It's not just happening. There is a architectural blueprint, if you will, that's embedded in our DNA, in our soul code genetics.
Makes fun.
But this is a Nietzsche well developed this idea we call eternal recurrence. There is the potentiality of any individual by virtue of their code to be what they are. You are not automatically what you are.
This is weak.
Intended to take us out.
This is a power stone.
Yeah, we won't stand
Deal
that.
with
We know how to deal with this sort of thing. We've got the little training. We've got the backing of various people in terms of evidence and all sorts. I think
The guys that
those
worked on the
responsible
line,
for
right?
doing this must know that we are taking it all the way.
Me too.
That there should be a way with the severity of what you're doing by influencing others' minds.
Yes.
Because I mean, look, I say a lot of things, and I am willing to. I've considered them. I've pored over them in this life for years before I ever spoke. I know what I'm doing, and I take responsibility for every bit of it.
And I'm older than you, and I've been doing this my whole life.
Nothing is incidental or accidental.
Because it is.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I might not misspeak here or there. I'm not Jehovah. I'm just finding myself a central organizing node of our whole collective.
But you're one of those
Very
guys
different,
that
so.
doesn't even respect women.
Anyway,
Or
that's
the divine feminine.
that's where I stand.
You even smacked your wife.
Things make
around,
this
Mr.
2,000 individuals talking every day and more.
We got it.
And bring us to the next
all on
level.
video,
Transparency and transformation. Transformation.
And you're gonna
That's what
run
we
the
need.
cult.
We really need transformation to a totally new state where we are openly relating. This is Cognosis, finding the others. I'm Z, and I am
You
honored
crack me
to
up
have had
every time, Z.
the opportunity. If you have better auspices next juncture with Melody, who runs CCN with her devoted partner, Biggie.
Yeah.
Thank you both. Thank you all.
Mr.
Wherever this
Hayes
goes, may it
worked
bring
at,
wholeness.
what was that biggie down
Yes,
in
I've
Grand
lost
Street?
Shauna, who was left over this.
What?
Right, this is when
I've lost
everybody's
Roger.
out.
I lost Henry and I lost Randy. So it's 4 people.
Fuck! Fuck! I didn't know you lost Shauna as well.
Chesapeake.
I heard
Shauna and Rebecca.
Yeah.
Shama
Oh
and
my
Rebecca
God.
came back.
That's 5
She
people.
probably gave their spot for free.
And Shauna says there seems to be a collective opinion as a network.
They
And
left
I said,
over
no,
the summer.
just no one on the network stupid enough to go on a hate campaign against it. Okay? I'm not stopping anyone from doing anything. What I'm doing is being a beacon of the light and standing up and saying, this is what I'm doing. Okay? If anybody wants to know where we stand, because a lot of people do look to us for guidance. They go, the country's going pretty tough, this is going on, what do you do? I don't want to tell people what to do, I'm telling you what I'm doing. Okay, me, I believe is the honorable and integrity-full thing to do. And if you want to do the honorable, integrity-full thing to do, you're welcome to do as I do. I'm not saying to you have to. I was like shocked. It's like it's like an 18 months of friendship with Becky Hamilton was just gone. And this is the thing that's so heartbreaking is that we actually,
Now, she's acting like she doesn't know why, but of course he's already told her, don't screw Sue. So that's why she also brought C in.
Yeah, it's fine. We don't
Expected they were going to crush her.
people think they're just like an aggressive type. But actually, deep down inside, we've got very big hearts. And all we want is to love everybody. And we did. We love Randy tremendously. And he really hurt us. He really fucking hurt us. And I'm
Cry me a
so sorry
river.
for where he went.
Hey, you guys know what this is all about, don't you, for real? It's called intellectual property. So if my big mouth goes on and talks about all these things and say they would like to assume the identity of the broadcaster, they slander and whitewash and disregard the person that's bringing the information, and then see if they can make some money on it or gain some power or wield some influence or act like they have, some higher knowledge.
It didn't even try. Our friendship had nothing to do. We didn't even try to work it out. It just
Your
went in there.
friendship.
Women are trying to reach out to me.
How are you a friend to my buddy Randy? I mean, did you have a deep talk with him or something?
It wasn't actually to me, Randy can't say that. But I just said no. Because he was afraid. He was afraid of Randy. He was afraid.
Roger Landry's afraid of Randy Moggins. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. Watch. Here.
There was a pre-record from another show that we've done. A couple months back when he was doing fundraising for me. And it was his last show, and he asked us to play that as his last show.
You mean the one where you need $60,000 to run your network on YouTube?
Okay. It was a bullshit. None of his projects ever work, and he claims he's got this and that going. He's not fucking going, but it's a typical digital salesman. Okay.
Oh, unapproved call or security agent may only be invoked by the person scamming me. Right. That's when my computer shut down.
We kind of guessing this is like what it may be, but
it's all in my
we've got all the
videos.
evidence. And so now we are up with a charge with the police. See how it goes. The city council
and the city council.
Of
that's
course,
classic.
The service provider that provides us with the internet. Of course, the legal team is following through on this. They have the shortest of it.
And that's because my
their legal team is
to
following through to have the shortest of it.
We can adapt to almost any situation, and we have to because we deal with very vast, varied personalities. Okay, and so some really hectic personalities are people like young older men.
Now she talks about a broadcaster that's loyal to her, talks shit on him too.
Some of the best. You know why? Because there's no bullshit with them. Okay, they're straight, they're direct. Your heart sometimes says, could you not be a little more less brutal?
Hi guys, it's me, Suze Pratt, the holistic stylist. And I've been mysteriously locked out of my WordPress. So it looks like this is a $3,000 website. You guys let me know if you think it's worth $3,000. So we'll just go ahead and look at it just to make sure. I like the wrinkly neck picture they chose to. And then I'm under a great deal of duress. Tease me about my old lady parts. Does that sound familiar? So we'll just let the bank know that and see what they do. You see, this is my logo with my copyrights. Suze Pratt, 2016. My artwork. That's right. Sophia's Emporium, my show. Let's just see if the shows are still there. That's $3,000 worth, y'all.
I don't get pissed off when people leave. But I get pissed off when people treat me dishonorably and they're not straight with me about
I see your face and say that.
Honest with me about what's going on. And Lisa and Danny were very manipulative about the
talking shit on
because they
Lisa
didn't
and
want to own up to the truth. They didn't want to have a conversation with us and admit the fact the reason they're leaving is because they did not want to help us raise the money to get the broadcast license we sought for the following day. Okay? Instead, they wanted to go off on their own and use.
Hang on a minute, look at this mess you've made here. You better fucking clean this up before you ascend, buddy.
Right. She's talking about Enki. Remember? Mel was talking shit on people that talk about Enki. Here's her buddy Alicia.
Excited.
And she's so excited that Enki's talking.
Himself, Yahweh, who's created this havoc here for the last
I told her it was great.
Years,
and just avoided conversation that night.
And this show this morning, John was part of Enlil's own disclosure, which is basically Enlil passing on the message about goal progress and what the planet's in for.
And it's going to be one or another whoever is responsible for this is going to be held accountable. But I'm not even that bothered about, any form of, I'm angry or I've got revenge. I'm just happy to be reconnected and also to know what it is. But it's also rather unsettling. There's a real feeling of being very unsettled about this because it's clear now that they know where the HQ of our broadcast studios are.
Oh
and
no,
they're
somebody knows where you
deliberately trying
live?
to cause damage to a humanitarian project.
Humanitarian
which supports
project.
a number of amazing people in their pursuit in various social
That
justice
charges
pursuits.
broadcasters donations. Oh, here's where she
Like how
says,
much promotion
"Don't
you do
threaten
is up to
me,
you.
last
You simply
warning."
don't have the resources or the manpower to do the amount of promotion.
I'm
actually do for
threatening
every
her
single
by
broadcast.
speaking.
And we
She
can't do
told me to be
broadcasts separately.
silenced.
Both do it all the same.
Like
So
the Wicked
we
Witch of
rely
the
on
West
you
or
guys to
something,
make sure
right?
you promote your material.
And
It's up to us to promote it.
she
It's up
told
to us
me
to
that
give you
she
the
would
service
shut
to
me
the
down before I
broadcaster.
ever got started.
That is what we do. We provide you service of broadcasting, we process your archives, we get them posted out there, etc. I never managed his online social media stuff, so he never grew. What do you say? His fan base didn't grow. But
Oh,
he's
right.
been doing
Here
this
she's
for
ragging
years.
out
He's been for at
somebody
least 20 years doing this stuff.
that thought that
This fan
since
base
she
is
was
pretty
so
limited because it's
popular,
largely the Dutch market.
that his
He's got a
viewers
very
would go
limited
up.
international fan base. Most of his
And
market
then, of
is
course,
Dutch,
the more
which
viewers
is
you
of
get,
course
the
a different
potential
language
more
altogether.
donations you get.
So it's pretty standard in terms of where he can go to next. I said he needs to publish his next book in English and maybe have a better market reach.
You
So
love to
then-
publish people's
and of
books,
course-
don't you, Mel?
It's just devastating that there are people out there who go to this level of maliciousness, and I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, people wage wars every day for finances. It's
Right,
just
you waged a
when we're
silent war
genuinely here
against
trying to create
me
a better world, working
just so you
on
didn't have
projects
to be
across the world,
honest and
doing all these
decent.
things
Right.
we do, for people to get that malicious that they would actually sabotage our internet. It's very
Or
just
sabotage
like
a new computer that you
disbelief.
knew that I was trusting you guys. And you do that. Pathetic. And see, you get your money on pushing fear on people.
And well, we're back. So they didn't succeed for longer than a week, which shows that they can't keep us down for terribly long, whoever it may be. And well, what it does show us as well is that we potentially would have to relocate base at some stage.
Right, so you got to move apartments again.
it
Y'all
doesn't
been on the
matter
run
relocate
for
to-
years.
There's so many different ways in which, with technology nowadays, you can find people and disable them. Even through electromagnetic pulse, they could disable our entire system.
You mean like when my computer
it's
went
not even
down?
worthwhile doing.
See, I
It's
wonder
not
if
even
you're digging your
worthwhile. It's
own
not even
grave
worthwhile
because
turning on the heels.
you
of
got
it.
a lot of
Actually,
crafty
at this
computer
stage, knowing
hackers
what we're
around you
having
that you're hooked
the
up with.
connections and contacts and abilities that we have, it's probably worth our while just to stand here and fight back and stand our ground, because I
Right.
refuse to be bullied by anybody.
Right, be
I refuse
accountable.
to let anybody make me feel like I'm going to run away.
Let people know your real name,
So,
where you
that's
live,
we're gonna do.
and what
We're
you're
gonna
doing.
stand our ground, and we've got all the facts. We've collected all the details and the evidence for some time now, because we've been more than aware of something very fishy going on in relation to this matter.
Right, here's Here what we she go. calls
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the
my whole
catch.
deal
Okay,
fishy.
so basically somebody damages cable property, they sever the line with the fiber optics and the phone, and now she's going to connect that to all the back stuff that happened and start doing the little witch hunt thing,
Right.
where she calls people out and actually slanders and gives misinformation.
Right. And see, what she is so upset about is, her brothers in arms and sisters in arms, these alternative media journalists, actually don't want to see good people taken advantage of. But you see, I wasn't in the club and I didn't have a card. I was just a regular, lowly, average, run-of-the-mill somebody that was supposed to be, you know, like all involved in your cause. Right. But they knew my cause was true. Okay. Yeah, this is nice. Here, let me open it up. Now, of course, I had filed paperwork with the bank in August. And here he writes something and said the end of September. And that's my letter I got back from the bank.
Oh, he's a good writer too.
He was pissed. I stopped that credit card payment.
He wrote that X-ray walk.
John Funnyman piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me he's John Funnyman, which I thought was really good.
John
I said, you're a fucking genius. He said, I am a fucking genius.
Well, I think he's a very interesting character. I wanted to see what kind of
You're an interesting character.
Hear a story, and then
I'm an interesting character.
But
it's, see, you need another adjective in there with the character. Here's my buddy Kuka.
I've been over there.
Andrea.
Try and watch everything that I can to keep in touch with, you know, the family too. You know.
I try as well. I'll be honest with you, I don't get to see everything. Just simply because we don't have the time.
Here's where she lies right through her teeth.
It's a simple case of the latest shows I don't make it. Monday, I did the
You never watched none of my shows, Mel.
Your show from the meeting afterwards.
The one you teased me about that I had to ad-lib because the shows weren't, you know, logged into the program, yakety yak. Your sabotage on my show that I survived. Here she goes. Ben and Jerry and Sus.
Ben and Jerry's and Sus.
Sus.
Which actually actually called that. Ben and Jerry's and Sus.
I find you guys to be really entertaining. I know you all probably think you've got this beautiful voice. I just get a kick out of you guys because you're funny to listen to and watch. And, yeah.
See, this isn't funny. I mean, it is
it's
funny.
Been an
You're right. It
interesting
is
time because
it's not funny.
There's some very funny comments posted, particularly in relation to us and what people think has happened to us. People think we've
Look at the
died.
red rash
Or
on that
stateless,
chest.
as
You
we
better
said,
cover it up. Your little
No.
thing or whatever it is.
We unfortunately were very seriously demobilized as a network because we had our external line hacked.
No, you had it cut.
Very deliberately
You
so.
had it hacked. Like the computer people were so magical that they blew the line up with their black magic, right?
It's been interesting as well to see a couple of people, oh, I wish I was flying on the wall of the CC studio.
It's a maxi pad for humidity. Yeah, I got one too. Right inside. Girls are too scared to wear them in public.
Joe's always got jokes.
Right.
Remember when they always used to call you Joe Fiction?
Don't you need to tell someone before you start taping them, though? These conversations may not be construed.
Now, wait, sweetheart, Mr. Joe. You know that in the state of Missouri, the law is that one party needs to know that it's being taped. So, you're funny, though. Love you.
Considering you're the other half of me and we know each other's thoughts, what the fuck, right? I can turn the camera on you whenever. just wanted to show everybody your outfit and your walking stick, because damn.
Yes, I walked from the cheap here. See, this here is this here has a piece of copper from the tip wove through all the natural cracks of the stick all the way to the top. So I'm touching the ground. Barefoot on the ground is good. Grounded is good.
Right.
I love that man so much. See, you guys think I talk a lot. Just wait until Joe starts. So, oh my God, I got somebody waving.
Nothing happening yet. Just sitting around waiting for the bloody internet to be switched on and all the drama to go away so we can carry on doing what we do. Because guess what, guys?
Just needed to have it turned on.
You just can't get rid of me. I'm not going anyway.
Your story's got
I
another
would also like to
hole in
make
it.
the comments with regards to things that have kind of been going on behind the scenes just prior to us going on air for a bit as well. And that is, I'm not going to feed the hoaxsteads or the devil's need for
What
anti-hate
about
fodder.
Sis?
I honestly, I've gotten over the whole anti-apologism, and there are a couple of
You
people
need to make
who
things
said,
right
well,
with Sis.
begging me to give them more. But
Yeah, you wrote
I've seen a lot
a
of
naughty
things.
enough letter. I've had enough.
I don't think it's
Peace
dignified
out.
to go on flogging a dead horse.
I'm with you, and I'm Stan, and I believe in
Hey,
community.
there's a part of our community that runs, but there's a part of our community that stays, and I'd rather be with the part of the community that stays.
You're the fucking strong ones, my friend.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't mean to ask you that. I got too serious of a
No,
question. I apologize.
It's all good.
I'm just learning to be a journalist.
Sure.
And so
Hey, I know all about public communication, so you gotta ask the triplet. Is it like the questions in a series, like a triplet? Like you gotta ask like an initial question to break the ice, then you ask a question to kind of in the middle, then you ask a question that's over the top. I think that's all part of it.
That was Larry. It's supposed to be positive, negative,
See,
positive.
I've been a hairdresser
That's
my
what he
whole
was
life,
talking
and so
about.
I ran a small business for 30 years. I don't follow rules very well, and I like to create my own circumstance.
Right.
So it's kind of sucks because a lot of people think hairdressers are like ding dongs and goofballs, and a lot of people think journalists are too. So it kind of
I've met some journalists because I do live in Ferguson, so I've been personally engaged with journalists. And I'd have to agree with you on that one. That I certainly believe that, and this is on camera, that some journalists are certainly ding dongs.
we put an energy out, and if you put a warrior energy out, then people will leave you be.
Yeah, just respect people. Yeah, I respect people, so I expect people to respect me. If they don't respect me, then we have a problem.
Right.
But it's not that I disrespect people.
And I always gave my full respect
My dad was
to
a
Melanie and
so I
Richard
saw all sides of it.
at
And,
CCN. They shit
it's
all
about
over me
respect for anyone.
Yeah, respect
and
for yourself.
laughed at
That's
the
right.
same
God,
time.
you did good tonight. And bless your. I could be a five if I had a fucking arm, man.
Oh, good grief. Okay. So that's pretty exhausting if you really think about the whole story. And, along the way, too, to imply that my story didn't mean anything. See, that's like saying that the common person's story is absolutely meaningless, no matter how accurate, no matter if the information is impeccable, no matter if it helps heal people. And the biggest dirty, rotten thing that people that practice the dark arts, when they're spellcasting, you see, they will not say the name of the individual because it feels like it gives them power. But I'm not under any of your little parasitic influences. And, Z told you a long time ago I was bulletproof, and has just made you want to kill me more, which I think is just, it's really sad. I mean, we are supposed to all be in this together, and none of us need a guru or a cult leader. We're supposed to be taking our own journeys because, as we all know, whatever transition comes, nobody will hold our hand. We will take the journey alone, except for the God that lives in us. And my God's a God of love, so I've never been alone in this whole journey. Think about that footprints poster, right? When you think there's just, one set of footprints in the sand, you big dopey stoner, it's because you're being carried by Jesus the Christ. So, anyhow, earlier I played Tony, Orlando, and Dawn. You remember up here when we got started, right? And I got one more for you to end this live stream out tonight. And, when I was growing up, I didn't really understand the Monkees show. It seemed so goofy. But, these were like real people. They were having fun. And we all need to, have that happy inner child. And these guys all look so flippin' happy. But this is a song called Daydream Believer. And this is from 1967. I like that tambourine through the arm. You usually see people do it like this, sad story, but true, from the Sue's Vault of stories, all gospel truth. Senior year, me and a couple friends are going to have a cigarette in the bathroom at Lutheran High School North. We all have our sports uniforms on. I've got the cheerleader outfit on. My buddy Ellen and my buddy Ann, they got their field hockey outfits on, right? Their cigarettes are already lit. My dumb ass is trying to find a lighter in my purse. Teacher bolts in the door, busts us, says glasscock to the office. Now, you see, this is early targeting, right? Because why is it glasscocks only going to the office, right? The other two girls, they didn't get any trouble. They just had to put their cigarettes out, and mine wasn't even lit. So off to the office I go, right? Now, here was my punishment. See, this was homecoming week. And, I'm a varsity cheerleader, and, our 3A state champs football team is cheering at Busch Stadium. It's a BFD, right? And my punishment was that after that last football game, I was getting, ink-snayed off the squad for the rest of the year. And to make it even double embarrassing, I had made homecoming court, and there would be, the queen and then her 4 attendants, right? And so I got put last place as my punishment for holding an unlit cigarette. Now, here again, I really enjoyed my education and my high school life. Lutheran North was great, but matters not, because I wasn't going to get shoved in a box, and I wasn't going to just roll over and take getting kicked in the head, right? So here's what I did. I decided to skip every day I could and still legally graduate. And back then it was 50 days, right? And I took it down to 49 and a half friends. And that's what I did in retaliation for being targeted as that naughty redhead from the wrong side of the tracks back in 1981. And I'm still getting fucked with, right? But, as the story goes, I'll keep going against these oppressive SOBs And I will never roll over, and I will never stop believing and having faith and trusting friends and loving humanity and building community. So, with that, y'all, peace, love, and light from the third cosmic ray in Ferguson, Missouri. And hey, don't forget, we got 4 cities in Missouri where we'll see spiritual revival. St. Louis is one of them. And I tell you true, I see it. If you want something motivational, you could go to my YouTube, Suze Pratt. And I started reading a book called The Impersonal Life. And this was the book that Elvis had his spiritual awakening and journey, because, you know, people are still tripping that this dear man has been preaching, right? But you know, I mean, from the go, he loved the Lord. He was always into gospel music. He was a serious actor. And you know, they didn't give him good movies on purpose. They hopped him up on a bunch of pills on purpose. They were killing him. So he had to fake his death and shuffle out, you know, get out of there. And he's speaking out, and he's speaking up. And can you believe somebody would tell Elvis Aaron Presley that he is not Elvis Presley? Or Elvis Aaron Presley? I don't even want to leave out a word. Somebody'd say, oh, look what she did. But you get the idea, okay? We talked about intellectual property tonight. If you go to SKMI on YouTube, the man, his own self, is loading this stuff up, and people are so traumatized. You know, they're thinking whoever this is full of it. And like I say to people, I mean, come on, wake up. This is a man preaching. Look at, this is Elvis Presley. Come on, give me a break, guys. Look at this.
They took their evidence
God love you, Elvis.
and tried to get the case reopened.
You don't, well, I mean, I hope you know, but I mean, you really gave me the best birthday present I've ever had, and taking this journey and watching you and being one of your loyal fans. I mean, it is. It's really so exciting. But how dare these people not think this is your voice? I mean, do they not know you're 82 years old and your voice changes throughout your life? I mean, what kind of crack are they smoking, King? Let me zip through a couple things. Oh, check this out. This is Jeannie C. Riley. Do you remember the gal that sang The Day My Mama Socked It Too? Harper Valley PTA. Check this out.
Also, are you really planning to be interred?
Jeannie C. Riley. Oh my goodness.
What does Jeannie C. Riley have to do with this?
I didn't believe Dr. Hinton's book. I thought, bless his heart, how deluded.
But Jeannie had a change of heart, and we were there as she traveled to Kansas City to drop a bombshell on stage.
Elvis A.R.O.N. Presley. Not Elvis A.A.R.O.N. Presley.
That's right,
Jeannie. Elvis was too honest a man to put his real name on a grave that he wasn't in.
That's
He
right.
ain't in it.
Riley says that she knows for a fact Elvis is alive.
I could rattle off several of the top names in the music world, but see them on a fairly regular basis, talk to them all the time. I'd have kept my neck in. I stuck it out tonight. There are people in that.
Now, let's tell them real quick too, Jeannie, while we're here. See that picture that just flashed there? That is the twin brother of Elvis, Jesse Presley, that everybody thought died at birth. And then remember too, he's got a triplet. And on SKMI, he kicked that video up the very day that I had typed in regarding that on 1/2017, facial recognition picked him up and his brother and Elvis's son at the Trump inauguration. And by January 24th, there was a deceased man that went by the name of Jesse found under an overpass that had an exact DNA match to Elvis Aaron Presley, Aaron. Now, what I typed in is how hard this is going to be for people. I mean, they've been mourning a man that is alive since 1977. And then to, figure out he's alive. And then if you hit there after the 24th, they have to actually take that double trauma in to think that he had passed again. And here you were just waking up to the fact that he was alive the whole time. And last year we figure out that Sir Paul McCartney is no such thing, and that he was actually decapitated in 1968. And this Marshall dude was groomed to take over his place, and so on and so forth. So, I'm still asking the question for real. I mean, if, he was found under an overpass, are you telling me he was just walking down the street and expired and nobody knew? Or are you telling me that something fishy happened in Denmark? And I'm going to vote with the strong fish stench.
Nashville right now, laughing at me, saying I'm crazy. Well, I've got nothing.
They say I'm crazy too, Jeannie. We're all in really good company because we are sane as the day is long.
Anyway, Elvis never had a doubt.
It's the rest of the freak
We
shows,
cared for him.
the ones that have lost their soul and their
Right here.
humanness.
Able out there to visualize it or see it. The doubt's not.
We did what we had to do for his sake.
That's Joe Esposito. Here's Elvis singing again.
Maybe even preaching a little bit. He loved to have, he loved to teach and love the Bible.
Everybody in this world just lives their life.
Our preacher went by the name, the alias of Bob Joyce.
Many people who
He's also used the name John Burroughs.
What they think is,
Look at that sweet man.
whatever they're doing, what they have is being good to them. It turns around and bites them. It turns around and devours and destroys. It can destroy their lives. Many people's lives have been destroyed by the very things that they pursue, the very things that they indulge themselves in. So God comes in when He intervenes, and He brings this new life in Christ to man.
I think he thought he possibly had a religious calling, that all this was going to lead to some type of way.
People have a hard time dealing with
I'm not going to concern
a
myself
spiritual human being
what
having a
I
sexual
was,
experience and it not being
God
sinful.
knows and our lives matter to Him. So therefore He says, to live.
James, the hairdresser, was his spiritual advisor. How cool is that? A lot of facial recognition.
About the higher meaning of life.
What a difference it makes. And that's the way it is with the Lord. When we find Him, we realize He's worth everything. He's worth our life. He's worth all that we have. We're willing to give all that we have. But all He asks of man is that they say yes to Him and no to this world.
Amen, Elvis. I know exactly what you're talking about. Namaste. Wow. What a great world, guys. Really, seriously, create your realities big and beautiful and loving.